Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow. What's up, guys? My name is Sean. I'm here with another episode, Shots with Sean. We are currently at Hong Kong Football Club, and I'm with manager Nick Day, teammate Michael Hampshire, and captain Thomas McGilly. We currently play in the Yau Yee League, which is an amateur league in Hong Kong, amateur football league. If you don't mind giving an introduction about yourselves.
Gaffer.
Nick Day, manager of Albion. Been in Hong Kong for about 7 years now and been with the football club for about 3.
My name's Michael Hampshire. I've been in Hong Kong for over 20 years. I grew up here and I've been with Albion for 2 years now.
Hi, Tom McGilly. I've been in Hong Kong for 7 years. All of those at football clubs, 6 with the Albion, 1 with the first team with this chap here. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome, guys. So we got to start with the shot, if you don't mind.
Okay.
What's yours? Sambuca?
Sambuca.
Vodka.
Okay.
Cheers,
guys.
Spilt half of it.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Aye.
Cheers, Sean.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow. How was that?
Sets you on your way.
So, football is the most popular sport in the world. We hear about it professionally in magazines, online, but we don't really hear much about amateur football. And the Yau Yee League is the most prestigious league in Hong Kong. Nick, why do you think that it's the standard is pretty good here in the Yau Yee League, especially in Division 1?
You've got a lot of expats in Hong Kong who both play on Saturday and Sunday, but the Sunday league is obviously a much higher standard. Why people choose to play on the Sunday instead of the Saturday, and the leagues are flipped, because in the UK the Saturday is the better league, if you like, which leads on to a nice social on a Saturday night and gives the Sunday for the hangover, whereas here it is flipped, and I think it's something to do with the rugby having the pitch availability. In terms of the standard wise, why is it so important? I think the standard varies throughout the year. That when you get an influx of lots of foreigners, they all filter into the Yau Yee. I think the Yau Yee's still strong this year, but it's not as strong as it has been, which means that the Saturday football has also been a little bit affected this year.
Right. What I've noticed in the Yau Yee League is that you get some really good players that are able to come and sign, and there's not too much restrictions compared to the HKFA where you need to be local. And so, Hampshire, you've played at a high level. What do you think the difference is playing in HKFA versus Yau Yee League? The main difference?
Yeah, like you say, you got certain restrictions with the local governing body. With Yau Yee League, you can kind of just register anyone. There's no cap on how many foreigners you have, how many local players you have. So it's a bit of a free-for-all in terms of the players that you can get. With the HKFA League, which is what the first team participate in, there's restrictions, rightly so, to try and promote youth football in Hong Kong and try and promote the locals coming through and playing the game at a higher level. And you also get some paid professionals in those leagues as well. So naturally, the quality in those leagues will be a little bit higher than the likes of the Saturday or the Sunday or the Yau Yee League as well. It's usually be stronger in the HKFA divisions, purely because you've got stricter restrictions and things like that.
I understand. And I mean, the main thing that I've also noticed is that the physicality, expats, foreign players, are much bigger. Obviously, the local Chinese players are good; they can pass the ball, but it's a much more physical league. Gilly, you've obviously you play at centre back.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable playing more in the Yau Yee League or the HKFA?
They're definitely different. The HKFA is faster, it's more technical, and actually if you try and be physical, you're penalised a lot of the time. In the Yau Yee, because there's a lot of expats in it, you can get away with being a bit more physical. Still not on a completely different level to the UK, where it's very, very physical, and you can, I say get away with it, it's not getting away with it, it's part of the match. In Hong Kong, it's slightly different. Yeah, it's like Michael said, it's different, it's a different challenge. But the Yau Yee's got some very good players, but it's more of an expat game than it's physical.
So going back to let's rewind. 2018-19 season, right? Nick, you became manager of Albion from Spartans, and we finished I think 4th that year. How did you recruit players the following year? I mean, we had a lot of French players come in. and that obviously boosted the team. What was the attraction to get on the team? What was the main thing?
There's a lot in that question. I think when I first came over, I actually thought that there was a lot of players here already, and I had a team sheet. And if I'd known that was here, I would show you the team sheet that I was given to say these players are still around and these were not. And we still, from that, there was probably 1 or 2 players that were leaving. But when I came in, I think it was there was a few players that had finished 4 years here, and they decided they didn't want to play anymore, or they were just retiring, or they've been playing for quite a few years. So I think I inherited about, I would probably say, 4 or 5 players. Tom was one of them. AD was another. Michael had moved from the Colts, and so Gabriel had moved from the Colts. So actually, there was a lot of new faces. So whereas I thought there would be a pool of talent here already, it didn't seem that way. So the first years, you were in that squad as well, Sean, and you saw there was players coming down from Shenzhen who were potentially coming into the team. They were more individual players looking to better their profile, and they wanted videos of their own individual performance so they could go and play pro themselves. So that year was definitely a transition year, but I'm going on here a little bit. But yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah, the summer of 2019, when obviously we had a lot of new players. Hampshire, you came in from the first team, wasn't it? Yeah. I think we knew then that you were such a threat in front of goal that we knew that we had a big chance of winning the league. How old were you when you started playing football? Were you always striker? Did you always play striker when you were younger?
Yeah.
Nick's just going off, by the way. You need to do something.
Yeah, I was always very left-footed, so I was either like a left-sided winger, but I never really had pace, which I get reminded of quite often. So I was always
nice big arse there. Hold the ball up.
Majority of the time it was striker or number 10 or something like that. So, and I started playing football when I was like 3 years old, going down to the park with my dad, and coming across here from the UK. It was a fairly easy transition because I was quite young, and happy.
That's the thing with strikers, like even if you miss opportunities, you can't let your confidence go down.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part, because goals are like the main thing to score in the game. You know, you have your defenders and midfielders, your strikers. You need the goals. How do you? What's the secret of keeping that composure and that ability to keep calm in front of goal?
I think you just gotta
trust yourself.
Yeah, just keep going with it. Like if you overanalyze yourself too much, or you're too harsh on yourself, then when you get that opportunity again, you're overcomplicating it, you're overthinking it too much, and it's often the case where you actually take the harder chances than you do the easier chances, because you're a little bit more focused on the harder ones. It's like a natural thing. You just got to go again. I've never thought going out into a game, I should be scoring 1 or 2 or 3, or I've kind of just, whatever the opportunity presents itself, you do your best, you try and pick yourself back up if you don't, and you just go again.
You don't strike me as a confidence player. If you miss a chance, it's just like
whatever,
I'll get the next one.
Yeah, you just try and get the next one. But you don't overthink that next one. You just kind of almost treat it the same as the one that you missed, and you just hope that you do better. That's often how it is.
I think what was great about last season and this season that we demanded from us was a standard. You know, like I think it also translated a lot into training. Like the training was almost replicated what we were in the game. You know, Gilly, you obviously you want to keep the shape, and I think with your voice and your experience and your positioning, I don't think we conceded that many goals because of what you hold at centre back. Did you think that came through experience, or you just kind of can see where players need help from the back?
It is experience. I'm the oldest man on the team, and
Never.
Been around a long time in various countries and various leagues, and with experience, that first yard is in your head, because I know where I should be. I'm just telling my teammates where to be, and basically, as you may have seen today, I'll make the other centre half do the running, and then I can just sort of position out where the lads are. And it is experience. I remember years and years ago, a manager once said to me, if I could put what's in my head in your body, oh my God, it'd be so good. But then at the time you're just like, yeah, whatever. But then as I'm now the older man, it's like, it's so true, because experience is worth a lot.
Right.
Because you can see some guys, they're athletes, they're absolute athletes, but it's just that decision making, which is sometimes not quite there.
I think, you're 100% correct. I think, and that's what we God, by the way, guys, we won the league this year. One loss. How many points was it?
61.
61 points. Top scorer also. Least goals conceded. So very happy with that.
Yeah.
I think the reason for our success was the perfect blend. I think we had a really good amount of experienced players, fast, quick players. But I think the main thing was the ball playing. I think we played teams off the park. I mean, even in games where we felt that we were under pressure, things would open up and we'd pass the ball. We'd go back to the basics. I think, Nick, is that what our ethos was throughout post-COVID, you know? Keep the ball, pass the ball as much as you can.
I think for years, teams that have won the league have been super fit and had a few players in there who were exceptional and could score goals in the games which were quite tight, and they would be the difference. But I think with our team this year, we had just an arsenal. The bench was so strong, and you know, they would start in any other team. So that was the difficulty. But yeah, I think the idea was to get our boys fit as possible. Even before the second start of the season, we were training before everybody else. We were keeping fit, and then on the pitch, just keeping the ball down, keeping it simple, knowing everyone's individual roles, and then you've got a goal machine up top who's always going to get you a goal or two. So that helps, of course.
Yeah, I think it's also like trusting a lot of the players, especially the midfield players, that you know if you're going to pass the ball, it's going to create something from the back and then to the front and score.
Yeah.
It's great as a defender because we just get it, just stop the goal, give it to them, and they'll do something.
They do it, yeah.
Yeah, but I think again, I don't know if you've mentioned this just as I was preoccupied. The defence-wise, from that first goal, it was like 10 or 11 games we didn't concede a goal, and you only need to win 1-0. We had such a good defence as well from the goalkeeper and the back four. So that really helps as well. They're obviously holding the fort at the back. We went, was it 11 games?
I think it was
11 games before we played the Wanderers. So I mean that helped massively. And of course the goals were coming as well. And I think we're averaging about 5 goals a game. Which is incredible.
I think we actually scored more goals last year, did we? We scored more goals than last season before COVID shut it down.
I'm not sure what the stats were.
There was teams though like squad.
But we played a lot better this year than we did last year.
Yeah.
In terms of the team, we played a lot better.
I think it was like 60 odd goals in 14 last year.
Yeah.
This year's been about 80 in 22.
Yeah.
There's that much of goals either way.
Yeah. When you'd look at teams sometimes and you'd say, this is the tactic we're going to go in for their left back or their right back. And I often wonder what teams would say as a team talk about where is the weakness in our squad, and you know where how do you beat us? That's what I would like to maybe hear from other managers.
I mean, I guess the only thing that would create probably chances would maybe like the tail end of a game where we're a little bit tired, and especially with midweek games that we had, because during COVID we were getting double games Wednesday night, Sunday. I think maybe the fatigue started to set in a little bit, but that's only normal.
Yeah,
we all live.
We had 3 in 5 or 6 days just recently, and it's quite trying when you're going to the office all day and then playing at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night. Yeah, and it does have an effect.
Yeah. How important do you think the social setting outside the pitch is that the performance is going to be?
Well, you have all the Frenchies are all together, aren't they? I think they're really good friends outside of the team, and they all came together as well within the team. So they all came from like Azuri, where they all kind of followed each other. Alba came with me from the first team, and they're all good friends outside of football. The good thing about us is that we're all mates, but you don't have to get on with a house on fire with everybody, you know. But we all just gelled together because we had one purpose, and that purpose is just we wanted to win the league, wanted to play good football, and you all kind of just come together under that same umbrella, and it just worked. But the Frenchies all they just follow each other around like.
Everyone can take a joke, you know. We take the piss out of each other, and that helps build bonds.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing was having a group chat through COVID times when there was a lockdown. We were still kind of keeping communication, integrating, keeping fit, doing those hill sprints, and then I think that's started way back then. I think it kind of brought over to training sessions. And
I think it's important in amateur football to keep fit. That's half the battle, you know. You don't have to be the best technically, but if you're there, then you know you're there or thereabouts. I think.
On the social, I do think it's important as well. I think you need to want to play for each other and be a family, and as a motto, we win together, we lose together, we drink beers. I think that was, or if we lose, we still drink beers. Is that Boca or something like that.
Boca have
Yeah.
win or lose, we still booze.
There you go, that's the one. But no, I think it's important that people go back, even if you don't have to drink when you go back to the bar. And there's some players that don't drink alcohol, but I think it's important that you're around to see what's going on and build the cohesion within the squad. I think it's massively important. If you're coming to a football game and going home after, what are you playing football for?
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of the other Yau Yee teams, they seem to have actually a similar ethos.
Okay.
And I think that's quite refreshing that you look at the majority of the Yau Yee teams on a Sunday, they go to a bar afterwards, they meet up, they have some just casual drinks. Everyone's invited. Yeah, they all.
Last Friday, they had everyone played champagne after the game in Timpano. I think it's important.
So I think that's a good thing that Yau Yee has, is that it's quite a close-knit community. Everyone knows each other here. You know, everyone across the whole league, everyone knows each other. So it's quite a nice thing.
Yeah, I think it is important. People take it for granted that, like, especially during times where you have to be during COVID times where it's like lockdown, you have to be separated. I think teams like when we have the opportunity to be together as a team, we should be grateful for it, because sometimes you never know, could be lockdown again and we're stuck. So
and you can also know each other. But I don't think that's happened. Too much time with each other, you can fall out. But I don't think that's happened with our squad.
But I think any like fallout you call it, or healthy kind of
Just in training, really.
training, but that's just, you know, you shouldn't really take it too personally. I think they're just trying to help you, and it's the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It's how you see it, how you perceive it, really. So I think at the end of the day, they're just trying to help you and be a better player.
Yeah.
Simple as. So we have a cup run coming up, right?
We do.
We do.
Last 16 next week.
Okay. So if we get to the final, it'll be the end of May, right?
Saturday 29th.
29th,
Yeah.
29th. So if you guys don't know, it's just a knockout competition like the FA Cup. And we're in contention of basically winning the league and the cup this year. Nick, are you confident that we can kind of get to the final?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most important part now is the league's finished, and we regroup, back to training on Wednesday, and the standards don't slip. And I think that's really important. Even though Boca came here a few weeks ago and we beat them 8-0, I think that game, you just don't know how quickly the teams can recruit. So I think we need to be looking at that game to say, well, it's not going to be the same as last time. It could be, but we need to prepare.
In one-off games, you never know. Especially in the cup, they're shorter games as well.
Yeah, and that is key. It's 35, right? Yeah. So 35 minutes and
straight to pens if you're a
yeah. So those games, and they do catch teams out as well. So yeah, confident. Confident. And I think we've got a really strong squad. It's just whether we can keep performing.
Great. So that's perfect. Guys, should we round up with another shot?
Yeah.
Why not? Why the devil not? We are celebrating after
This one, the
all.
water one.
So you want vodka?
Yeah, why not?
School night.
Got day off tomorrow.
Make sure you fill that one up nice and
Still haven't had a shower.
dirty bastard.
I thought that was a smell.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah,
Cheers, Sean.
Cheers.
Stuff. Thank you. We'll go to work tomorrow.
It's on my nose.
I just want to kind of wrap up. Coming to the tail end of this season, what are your individual goals for next season? Do you have a thought, or are we just kind of taking it game by game?
Personally, I've not thought that far ahead. I want to win the cup. That's the next objective, which will be tough because, like Nick said, it's we're starting again. The league is done. We've won that, which is great. We'll celebrate that tonight. Next week we go again. We've got 4 games to win, and then I think that creates a bit of history because it's never been done.
No one's won the double?
I don't think so. So yeah, and then next season, let's have the summer off and then we regroup. We can have a junks to celebrate, a brunch, and then we start training again.
And a night out.
So yeah, I think the celebration. What about you? Your current status?
Yeah. No injuries, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, just we'll see, right? I never go into a season thinking, okay, I've got to do this personally and this as a team. Like, obviously you want to try and win, but just take it week by week, day by day. Like, it's same as the goal scoring. It's like never look too far ahead. Just whatever's in front of you, do your best, try your best, and then that's it.
Sums
Really,
of Hampshire all over as well. Most people would have goals, like personal goals, targets, and you probably teach this as well. smart goals, but
He's not committing. That's
no.
He
No, I
definitely
think-
has some.
For me, Sean, I think rest, get the boys a rest for the summer, and then look at who's going to be around next year. Probably get that message out soon. Who's going to be sticking around, and then looking to rebuild again. And I think you're constantly rebuilding because, like Kevin, for example, is leaving soon.
Okay.
What players want to come and what can we add, or what can they add to the squad next year? So that's certainly something I'll be looking at.
Yeah, that's the
after
thing.
the cup.
Yeah, sorry, continue. What were we going to say?
No, yeah. I mean, that's my summer job really, transfer window.
This is the thing that people don't see from a player side, a manager side, what they're thinking, and I think it's important to see that because they're thinking 2-3 steps ahead of who they're going to recruit, what they're going to change inside the formation, etc. So, I mean, I believe my goals are similar to Hampshire. I feel if it's good to have goals, but if you look too far ahead, sometimes it's going to be kind of overwhelming. So take it game by game, and for me, it would be to improve as a player individually. If that can help the team, amazing. But I mean, if I improve as a player, then I will help the team. I think that only naturally occurs in that process. So I think that would be a goal for me, and I think work together. I think the cup is doable. And
I think so.
Take it from there.
Everyone has a role in our squad. Everyone contributes, which is a good thing. So I think if we stick together, work hard, it can be done.
But the thing with the cup, because it's a knockout stage. If you think back to the Azori game, every game will be like that. And if you can't match their intensity, that's what catches teams out. And I know,
Squadron.
well, yeah, like that for example. But even so a few years ago, another team we were playing Wanderers actually in a semi-final, and I think they're the mentality. They've won the league, they had a good season, and when you get into that mentality, you're rolling over teams, or you keep winning. If you switch off and you don't meet the same intensity of another team, no. But Azori, I mean, they were tough in the first 15-20 minutes. That's what will get you caught out because the games are only 35 minutes. So it is hard, and when you've won the league to go and then win a cup, I think it's not easy.
To sustain that kind of intensity, to sustain that kind of ability to produce on the field. Yeah,
It's a knockout, so the lads are going to be going out pumped, and anything can happen in a cup game. So
It's win or bust.
yeah, absolutely.
have to respect your opponent. Yeah, perfect, guys. I mean, I just want to wrap up to cap the end of this podcast. I think it was perfect. I think we've kind
Should we do another shot? Nice.
Please, you've said
Nick's
it.
out,
You've said it
Nick's
now.
out.
You've said it now.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'll just rock. Nick, do you have your bike
You
here?
need to have a vodka one.
No.
You don't
I
have your
left
bike.
my bike. I knew I was going to have half a
Passes, two
shandy.
shot passes.
We're doing enough.
The gaffer has spoken. The gaffer has spoken.
You're doing one as well then.
That's two in there. I've got work tomorrow.
Lads, we've got a whole 6 days off this week without a match.
Oh god, is that vodka as well?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Right, over the shoulder. Sorry, boys.
Camera's off. Camera's off.
Jesus. Vodka legs.
Alright, cheers, guys.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Cheers, short.
Cheers.
Sean's got a small one though.
Done.